Hello and a very warm welcome to episode 40 of the Sussex by the Sea podcast, a podcast about all things Hastings United. I'm your host Chris Laverick. On today's show we have the returning Jake Daniels, who's the pre-academy lead coach. We talk about how much the academy has moved forward since we last spoke to him on this podcast a year ago, and how the whole of Hastings has got behind it. Also on the show we have Hastings women's captain fantastic Rebecca Ralph. Captain Ralph talks changes, her different role, where we should be and what's needed to go further. And finally, there's the infamous fan roundtable. Enjoy, Hastings fans. And now, over to Jake Daniels. It's an absolute pleasure to be speaking again to Jake Daniels, who's the pre-academy head coach of Hastings United. Hello, by the way, Jake.
Hi Chris, good to speak to you again.
Yeah, thank you. What's the pre-academy looking like now, Jake? So it's been over a year since we spoke on the podcast. I mean, how's that year been?
To be honest, I think probably like the whole of the sort of society and football as a whole, it was a really difficult year. But I think one thing that we found when we started the academy is obviously we had the constraints the same as everybody else about the kids started to come and then obviously they couldn't come because of all of the making sure keeping everybody safe. But as soon as we actually got the nod that we could restart football, it really has grasped the attention again. I mean, I think the last one we had on the pitch last year, we had over 100 kids on a Saturday morning. And then as we've gone back into this season, obviously we've got the start of our production line where a lot of our kids have now come out of pre-academy, have begun the sort of the journey with the teams. They've kind of got into the under-7s and the under-8s. So it's great to see some of those boys and girls already sort of like wearing the Hastings colours and representing the sort of club already. But we've now, the cycle continues, and this year we're back in, new school year, new kids have arrived, I think, and sort of like the last 3 weeks, we've been averaging sort of over 40 kids. We've been obviously up at the Mugger on the Firs, and then when we do obviously have sessions on the sort of the pilot field as well. When we do go down there, we obviously get really, really big numbers. It's a real draw for the kids to come and sort of to be able to play on the pitch, and sort of like where a lot of the kids watch. It's not silly for me to say there's a lot of their heroes play, because you see it already on a match day now. We both mentioned it on Saturday.
Yeah.
The ground is absolutely full of kids, probably from pre-academy, from all the junior teams. Although I think I counted over 200 kids at the game on Saturday, and it's that's what it's all about, is giving something back to the community, and these kids are in, and they're part of it right from the beginning.
No, I mean, it's brilliant. I mean, since the start of this season, I mean, we've spoken a couple of times because obviously we wanted to try to catch up for a while, but the amount of families they're bringing their kids, and obviously you've got those activities going on as well at the pilot field. I mean, it's just great. I mean, it's great scenes. It's fabulous stuff. Yeah, Jake. So one other thing. I mean, is there any? I know it might be a bit early for this, but anyone you've seen already knocking on who I refer to as English Jose, Chris Agata's door in the next few years? I mean, have you seen any possible early Messis?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, there's from the boys that have gone into this year's under-7s and under-8s. I would say already there's 3 or 4 that have come from pre-academy that are doing really, really well with their 7s and 8s. And I'm not going to sort of name names to sort of put any undue pressure on them, but there is kids in there, through what I've seen in my experience of youth football, there's kids in there that you can tell have a lot of natural ability. And as long as they maintain the drive and the desire and, the willingness to learn and do well, there's an opportunity for them to grow. But I think what's great about the pre-academy that Hastings are doing is that right from the start, Billy wanted it to be inclusive for all. So my role as sort of pre-academy lead is, yes, can I identify players that can go on and represent Hastings through all of the youth teams and hopefully onto the first team eventually.
Yeah.
The pre-academy is there for them, but also the pre-academy is very much there for the community. So those kids that maybe don't do a lot of sport or have not done much or just a little bit nervous or a bit afraid, they can come to pre-academy with me on a Saturday morning in a fun environment. Mum and Dad can stay and watch, and pre-academy is there for them as well, even if it's just to run about and have a bit of fun and have a bit of exercise. So it sort of ticks 2 boxes in that it's developing players for the future of Hastings United Football Club, but it's also an outlet for people at Hastings to bring their children and to get involved in a different way, because not everyone becomes a player.
Yeah.
But some people become supporters, some people become club people, and you see with all the people that sort of do so much at Hastings, around the club, the actual playing side of it is probably a very small part of it. And then you look at all the people that give up their time for no reward just because they want to be part of something in their town. So it's great that that starts with the pre-academy. And I think we noticed, I think I said to you on Saturday, the last sort of 2 home games, we've had some of our pre-academy kids have had the opportunity to be ball boys and ball girls. So we've been, Hayley, one of the directors at Hastings, and Billy, they've been really keen to get the pre-academy kids to come and have a match day experience. So we had a 3-year-old there on Saturday, whose mum and dad are big supporters of the pre-academy. It was his turn to come. He was at Charlton the week before, and I've never seen a boy so thrilled to be out on the pitch. And he walked out with Sammy Adams and the match ball. His parents come down, his grandparents come down, and that's what I wanted it to be about, and I know it's what Billy and the other directors wanted it to be about. And you can see it was small acorns to start with, but it really is growing into something that hopefully we can all really celebrate. And eventually, when we get to the new ground, we'll hopefully have lots of players that want to play there.
Yeah. Well, I want to get onto that growth in a second. Just for people that are listening to this podcast and don't know about the pre-academy, to get in contact with you, how should they do that, or to try and register their children to come up to the Firs?
Okay. To be honest, they can call, and they can or they can email the club on all of the usual sort of methods that are available that are out there online. Or equally, we try to make it as not difficult for people as possible. So quite simply, if your child is 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, so 3 to 6, they can come Saturday morning between 9 and 10. We're always either on the pilot field, we're in the Mugger at the Firs, or we're on the Firs. We're in the same area. They can come, they can have a watch, they can see, they can sample, the kids can come in. And then if the kids want to come regularly, basically you give me your details as a parent. We run a parents' WhatsApp group for the pre-academy where we tell all the parents what we're doing, where we're going, the opportunities that their kids can have, the experiences, the chance to be a mascot, how to buy the kit, and all to do the bits and pieces. So it really can be just turn up, introduce yourself. I'm there every Saturday. And as I say, and if you want something a little bit more formal, obviously, then you can email the academy through all the Hastings online sites, etc.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, I was just talking about the future. So you've laid out how things are now. Where do you see the pre-academy in, say, a year's time? Because it has grown so quickly. Where do you see it in a year's time? Well,
where we are on it at the moment is we've not put any restrictions on the sort of the growth that it could be. So all we've said is the more kids that want to come, basically, if there's more kids, then we'll do more sessions and we'll have more coaches and we'll make it work. So in terms of the numbers will never be a barrier. We will always cater for everybody and we'll make sure that we can grow it. And as I say, the key will be is if the numbers get to a sort of like a size where we need to do 2 or 3 sessions on a Saturday morning, then we'll break the age groups up, or there's various ways that we can do it. But ultimately, as any pre-academy leading into an academy will be, is the end goal is always to get boys and girls to come through the pre-academy into the academy sides and eventually play for the first teams, be it the men's or the women's side. And I think it's a good opportunity also to mention the girls in that. When we first started pre-academy, it pretty much was all boys. But since then, I would say we've probably had in excess of 15, 20 girls coming up regularly. I think 4 or 5 of the girls have already gone on playing in the teams.
Excellent.
This Saturday just gone out of, I think, of the 30 that we had there, 8 of them were girls. And obviously, the pre-academy is very inclusive and, the boys and girls are all playing fun and games together. It's fantastic because that's the other part of what Hastings is trying to do is make the football club inclusive for all, and that starts right at the pre-academy.
Okay, brilliant. Right, Jake, I'm now going to putting on my vice chair of the supporters club hat on. Now I know that the supporters club's goal for this season is to contribute towards the pre-academy in any way that you see fit, basically, but also to have a nice little donation for you come the end of the season to support you with equipment to make it even better for all these young potential used fans. I mean, what do you say to the supporters of this great club?
No, well, I think what I've noticed, when I came over and started working for Hastings, obviously I didn't know yourself, but there's lots of the people that I didn't know. I try to make sure on match days now, I try to walk around and speak to as many people at the club as I can, and I know, we've already had investment from the supporters club, and the kids are playing with brand new equipment, they're playing with brand new footballs, they're playing with brand new bibs, so the sort of the dim and distant days of, I can remember when I first started in football, where it was somebody's dad and we had one ball and we didn't really have a goal to play in. Those days are in the past, but the fact that Hastings has got a fan base that also wants to support the pre-academy and all the sort of good work that the club is trying to do, that's fantastic. And for all the kids, I would say it's a massive thank you. And whatever you give us to do will be invested in the children of this town. That's what we can guarantee you. And as I say, we will maximise every penny that we get. And as I say, and it will all be invested back into your own club with the children of the town.
All right, excellent words, Jake. Jake, anything else you want to add? Otherwise, I think we just leave it there.
Really happy, Chris. Always happy to come on and talk to the supporters of the club. And as far as I'm concerned, let's just hope for a great season. Desperate for the club to get promotion this year. Runs are brilliant. And more kids that we can see at the games at the weekends will show basically all the good work that everybody at the club's doing, from the fan groups like yourself to me at the pre-academy, and obviously Aggie in the first team.
Yeah, no, that's great. Okay, Jake Daniels, thank you very much.
Brilliant, mate. Nice to speak to you. All the best.
Are you up for a bit of trick or trivia? Do you have the pumpkins to play this scary Halloween quiz, even if it is hosted by everyone's favourite drummer, George Gasson? If you are, the Hastings United Independent Supporters Club are laying on our Halloween quiz. It's on the 29th of October, doors open 6:30, ice down 7pm, £3 a person. It's at the Pilot Bar. Come on, it'll be a lot of fun. Go to our website husupporters.club or email us info.huisc@gmail.com or contact this podcast to get your tickets. And here she is, Rebecca Ralph. Hi Rebecca, it's Chris.
Hi Chris. Hello, are you alright?
Have you got any time?
Yes, no, it's good.
Right, so hello again, Captain Fantastic Rebecca Ralph.
Hello. Well, morning.
Yeah.
The day is still morning. Crikey.
Yeah, the sun is shining. Rebecca, last time we spoke, I think it was just you'd just gone up as champions, and we did that big thing on the podcast, episode 29, where we caught up with loads of you. There was loads of a whole horde of you that were celebrating what was a great promotion. There's been quite a few ins and outs in that squad since then, but it doesn't seem to have affected the results at all. I mean, what's your sort of reflections on the changes and how you are at the moment?
Yes, we've obviously had quite a few different signings throughout the summer during pre-season. We've lost some players and we've gained some as well, and it's been really good actually. I think it's sort of brought a new freshness to the squad. Obviously added some more depth as well with some of the newbies like Sean and CJ, obviously very talented players. So I think all in all it's been really good. I think we're still going through maybe a little teething process, even though the results don't really show that, but I still don't think we're playing maybe as well as we can do, because I think we have massive potential in this squad. But it's quite tricky at the moment because we've had some players that have been away or ill or banned or things like that, so it's kind of limited the amount of times we've had sort of the same starting 11 or the same subs, and I don't know, lots of players, well, we all play very differently, so if you've got a different player in a different position, it does sort of change the way that you play as a squad. So I think once we get maybe a tiny bit more consistent, we will hopefully be playing, because we're playing good football, don't get me wrong. I think from last season to this season it's sort of chalk and cheese really, but I still think there's more from us, especially when we're playing sort of lower opponents. We do sort of dip down to their level, so I do think that as we climb the leagues and things, we will show our potential, because there's massive amounts of it. But all been very positive so far really. We've had changes in the staff as well, which I think sometimes rocks the boat a bit, and unfortunately I feel sorry to Billy having to keep recruiting people, but with our S&C staff and our managers and goalkeeping staff and all of that sort of thing has changed as well already, and the season's only a month or so long. It's been quite a few changes for us to get used to as well. So I think once things sort of settle a bit more and people are getting a bit more used to their positions, because I'm in a different position this season, so it's all about sort of getting a bit more used to it and a bit more comfortable, and then hopefully our confidence will grow from there. We'll still continue to get the good results that we're still getting. So yeah, it's all good really.
Well, yeah, talking about your position, I mean, how do you feel your role's changed? Because, I mean, you've been knocking in a few this season. And
yeah, I think I'm still scoring as many as I was as centre mid.
Yeah.
I think Billy's just realised maybe this season I've probably had a tiny bit more as a left back because I'm fit enough to get up and back, which is obviously a good thing for a full back. But I think it just adds maybe a little dynamic that we didn't really have before last season maybe. But I'm hoping that's the case anyway and I've not just been shunted to the left back. But I'm trying to see the positives in that. But I do quite enjoy it actually because I still have the free realm to be able to attack because I am more of an attacking player. But then I just have to get back to defend as well. So it's quite nice being there really and actually having sort of the support of the back line and Blair and I'm quite enjoying it actually.
Yeah, well, I'm sure didn't Henri start on the sort of left sort of, was he like a left back?
Exactly, all the best players are. No, I'm joking. I'm a left-footed player that can sort of play most positions really, I think. So I think it's just sort of suited me, tried me one game and then I've just sort of stayed there since really. So yeah, I'm not complaining.
Because I was saying, for that last goal, you weren't in a left-back position, because that last goal you scored was absolutely ridiculous. That was
Which one? Because I scored it on Sunday as well, which was...
that's what I'm on about. That
one, yeah.
Yeah, that was it. Second half, I'm trying to remember, when you're trying to pin these goals, it's the one that was about 30 yards out.
It was quite a good couple of goals, actually, this season, which is quite nice. But yeah, I do find myself sort of drifting up, especially when we've got opponents that maybe aren't as strong as ones. I do have more realm to get further up, so I find myself in positions like that goal really where I actually nearly took out Faye. I just scream in her face for her to leave the ball. So I think I probably traumatised her a little bit with that. But I think there's a picture that John Smalden took. He's one of our sort of top fans and he takes pictures as well. And there's a picture he took and I'm literally about to kick Faye and the ball. So that was quite funny to see. But yeah, no, I find myself still in sort of goal scoring opportunities, which is quite nice to sort of add that to getting clean sheets as well, because obviously as a defender we want clean sheets as well. So it's definitely different, but yeah, I am enjoying it, I must admit.
Yeah, I mean, I have caught a little bit more this season of your games, and there is. And there is. I mean, it's usually on my lunch breaks, but like I mean, there is like a different with this league. It seems to be that they're either teams that need to be put away or half decent teams, and it's just that I mean, it's good that you're keeping clean sheets because you could be forgiven for switching off sometimes, as a defence. And I mean, obviously Blair's keeping those clean sheets. I mean, we were both asking Blair this, but it's it must be difficult sometimes with some of these opposition. It is what it is. I mean, we all fully expect you guys to be up the leagues, but you have to obviously go through this season. I mean, where do you see this squad sitting comfortably? I mean, what division do you see us? I mean, like in the realms of Lewis, or I mean, where do you see us?
Depends really on what Billy wants, and if he obviously the higher we climb the leagues, we sort of have to add a bit more depth or train more as a team really, because we're training once a week at the moment. So I do think once we get maybe to the next league, which is when you're playing sort of Dulwich Hamlet and things like that, you probably do need to be starting to train twice a week for more, one to be sort of S&C fitness and one to sort of play and ball work. So I do think it just depends on how far he sees us going. I think we could quite comfortably sit in that league. They Fulham in our pre-season and we won 1-0. We were in that league. So I do think there is promise. I think even if we were in that league this season, I think we adapt to better organised and stronger teams. So we play better football when we have to. So I do think we could sit in that league quite comfortably this season if we wanted to. So I think once we get to that one, I think it will be more of a slower journey, maybe depending on the route. I know Billy wants us to go up and up, but I don't know. I can't see myself playing in the same league as Luke, to be honest. I feel like I'm a bit too old now. But who knows really? I think sort of the world's our oyster with this club and the support that we have. I think Billy provides us with more than you'll ever get really in women's football. And obviously we've got huge support, and potentially with the new stadium and things, I think it's a really exciting time to be part of this team. And I don't know where we to stop really. Obviously our aim each season is to be promoted, and that's all we can aim for really. I think we just sort of work each season as it comes really, and see where it goes from there.
And obviously you're doing well in the cup.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think we could go all the way?
Well, we've obviously already done better than we did last year. We got knocked out in the first round last year. I think it was against Hackney. So we've obviously won 2 games already, which is great. I do think we have the potential to beat Bromley. I do. And then I don't know who we face then, actually. I haven't looked at who the potential ones are, but I do see us maybe getting a couple more rounds than us. So if we work hard and we go for it, I do think there's the potential for us to go higher. Obviously, we've gone higher already than we did last year, but again, it's more of a taking it season by season, and each year we want to progress onto what we've done beforehand. So last year we obviously I wanted us to get the treble, and then the cups got stopped because of COVID. So this year we want to be winning cups, and I know that Billy basically wants us to focus on the league, but I do think cups are important as well. And we don't want to lose any game really. So we'll go into each game wanting to get the best outcome. So it will be interesting to see how far we go in the FA Cup, and if we don't win against Bromley, then we've already done 2 times better than we did last season. So it's all positive really going into this one.
Okay, cool. And just lastly, I mean, any messages to the Hastings faithful?
Thanks for your support really. I think our supporters are fantastic. We still have sort of the usual suspects that even come to our away games. Bless the sort of Waynes of the world that get on the coach with us at 9:30 to go to Islington Borough. It's all really appreciated for all you do for the club really, and the support's never unnoticed by us. Even at the end of the game, if we don't always thank you, we're thanking you internally. We're probably just dead from running. So it's always nice to look around the pitch on a Sunday and see sort of familiar and friendly faces that always support us in all we do. So we can ask for more really as a club, and if we can get the new stadium, then that would obviously be fantastic as well. But to be honest, I'm quite happy at the Pilot Field. I think it's a fantastic place to be, and the support's great. We can never fault that really.
Well, Rebecca, just thanks for your time.
You're welcome.
You say you need a plumber? You also want them to be members of the finest team in Sussex, if not the world? Well, it's not a monster, it's G&S Mechanical Services for all your plumbing needs, covering all the South East, even Whitehawk. Give that man Gary Elphick a call on 07793 125 571. That's 07793 125 571. You won't be sorry. And now let's hand over to our fan roundtable. Thanks to Robbie, George, Kev, and the late arriving Mr. Wills for making it happen. Well, what's this coming over the hill? It could be Towner. We could have a Towner here.
Will we have audio?
Yeah. Here we go. Have we got anything?
Are you faded up?
Kev?
I know.
Hey!
I think I've just about got on top of technology this time. I've just got... No, I've just about...
I thought he'd gone again.
No. I've got a new tablet, and I was trying to sign in on my tablet, and it won't let me.
All right.
Back
all right, Mr. Working Class. The new tablet,
No.
All right.
No, I'm here anyway.
You are here, sir. Right, just waiting on... we've got Mr. Carter and hopefully Mr. Wills. Give it a couple of minutes. If they can't come on, we'll just crack on. So...
It's old school roundtable. This is all the originals coming.
Well, Willsy has made a bit of an excuse already. I mean, he could be receiving resuscitation as we speak.
Yeah, that's no excuse, is it?
No, okay, to get on the roundtable.
Yeah, I was trying to get in on my tablet, and it kept trying to get me to put a code in. But I've already connected on my phone, and I just put my number in, and the code it keeps sending me, and it keeps going, oh, there's already an account. I know there's already a fucking account. It's mine.
Yeah, if you're Labour, you should have no problem signing on.
Hey.
Oh,
Yeah, just, George, the latest Spot the Ball, obviously, was a picture of Seven Oaks. Charlotte the photo. It's a really lovely photo. But where's George? Why is George not on the photo? Like generally, that's a game he didn't come to.
Oh, yeah, that was mentioned.
You can't be mean. You can't be mean to George.
Charlotte's been to the last 4 games.
Yeah. More committed than Chris.
Yeah, it's true. I can't. If you give it, you got to take it as well.
There was some guy called Barrel who used to come to the football as well. But maybe he's died. Barrel.
Kennedy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello,
used to come to games.
Don't worry, Kev. They're just being mean about everyone.
I'd switched off anyway.
Right, chaps. Thank you very much for this lovely round table. We have Sir Kev of Towner, we have Roberto, and we have Mr. Gasson here to talk about a wonderful set of results this week, and I seem to be saying that every week now. So, which is bloody lovely. So, who wants to crack on into a very comfortable victory against Ashford? None of you? You fucking miserable kids.
I don't know if I'd go as far as very comfortable, really. I'm not sure if we were watching the same game, Chris.
Well, please tell me if I'm wrong, Kev.
Well, I think really until that penalty went in, it really wasn't game over. I don't think. I never like 1-0 at half time. Never like it. Always very suspicious about that. I've seen us lose too many games.
Yeah, not recently though, Kev. Not recently.
No, that's true. Not recently. Certainly not under this manager.
Is that because you've been reading the Ashford manager's match report? Because if you read that, it sounded like it was we just managed to squeeze it.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd go that far, but I think it could have been a bit more convincing.
I actually disagree with you there. I thought I'm on more kind of Chris. I thought it was very comfortable. Apart from early on when they had 2 cracking chances and Louis Rogers made one hell of a save. I can't remember them really causing us too much difficulty. I think we dealt with it fantastic. They can get a foul in the game. We didn't let them. It wasn't. We could have dominated. But I say comfortable is the right word because we controlled the game. We looked like more of the threat for the majority of the game. We swapped the top men out well, swapped them around well. Fantastic to see a local lad, James Hull, playing. He was great.
I actually thought Dunstable were a better side than Ashford, actually.
Yeah,
and,
Dunstable was skewed by the red card, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I think with 11 men, they'd have given us a better game than Ashford. I think, I use the phrase, didn't lay a glove on us. And I think that was...
well, we didn't give him a sniff of petrol.
No, not at all. Not really. I mean, it was a good save from Louis. A few of their fans seem to be thinking they should have had a penalty, but didn't see that, obviously. So
I was speaking to Mr. Carter yesterday, and he had a better view of that one, and he said, yeah, it was a total penalty, apparently.
Oh, was it?
Mind. Good decision, then.
Well, that's because we worked that ref over.
He was a bit fun. He gave us a penalty for a high foot, and then he sort of doubted himself and started booking us for nothing to try and make it up. And then he lost his ball again. We didn't want to.
But it was a high foot. Like on the Ashford Twitter, they put high boot in quotation marks. I mean, he kicked him in their head.
Adam was right. It was a penalty all day long. But hey.
But yeah, the high foot happened with the park. No one's picking a fuss about that. So if it's a free kick, it has got to be a penalty. So,
absolutely.
And it's back to James Hull. He was really calm. That flew the number 9 shirt, obviously big field shoes and Popey out for 3 games. Young lad, home debut, local lad, fantastic to see him. I think I was worried when he stepped up because he was quite straight, but I like to he jinxed his run to change it. But he did not look out of place in the first team, which is great to see. That's what I love about Aggie. He just brings for all these young players, and when he does, I can't remember many looking out of place when they can't play in the first team.
I've said this to you guys before, but obviously this is for the podcast, that I was speaking to the mum of him and at half time, and she wasn't going to say who was playing better, but she said they've been fighting all week. The 2 brothers, obviously one of them plays for Ashford as well. So
yeah, the worst one. Yeah, the least successful one. That one.
Yeah, the one that got more abuse. Yeah. Talking of abuse, I must praise George for the petrol one-liners that he inserted in lots of different songs. They were
good.
Thanks, man. Yeah, appreciate that.
I like your new drum as well. Where'd you get that from?
Found it.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, found it. Yeah, it was just sitting there. Thought, play that today. I thought I'll do something for the music community and tune that drum, and just found it. It was something a bit different. Yeah.
How did you find it, George?
It's just on the ground, on the ground somewhere. Yeah.
But the way, obviously, you wear it now, you can rest your beer on it as well. It's quite handy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a game changer for someone like myself trying to multitask, drink a beer, play a drum. Can do both now. Game changer. So yeah, glad I found it. Really, just laying there.
We need to take a leaf out of Eastbourne Town's book. Actually, they've got almost like an entire setup, haven't they?
Yeah, but do you really trust us to play music instruments? George only musical talent one out of us. I can barely sing.
Yeah, that could be horrible, Kev. That could be horrible.
Yeah. Well, I'd enjoy it, but I'm not a drummer anymore, so it don't matter what I think.
Just back to Dan Harvey, I know he wrote something really, really classy about his brother, and congratulating him on that as well. So that was good to see. Good to see.
Yeah, he plays Rashford, so fuck him.
Oh, Rob.
Still harsh. You got
to
going up to talking to Robbie. Yeah, I can't do this any better than this. But John, Windy John sent me a message says that I need to repeat this because apparently Robbie reminded him of another moment many years ago. Right, you can tell Robbie the run to the corner flag to have a go at the lino was absolutely hilarious. Although I couldn't hear what he was shouting, it probably was just as well. Could this be true?
I confirm I did run to the runner flag, but for once, my language is actually PG. I actually called him a blind idiot. For once, I actually did not swear.
Well, that's very good of you, sir.
I know. Growth. He was a fucking idiot, that lino. What annoyed me was we had a shot clearly came off the Ashford defender about 50 yards in a different direction. Literally, a 2-year-old could have seen that corner, and both the ref and I missed it. I was like, "How do you miss something like that?"
Shocking.
I was a bit frustrated about work on Saturday, so I took out the lino.
Yeah, well, he apparently this reminded him of a young Bob Pook who ran onto the far side of Ashford's away ground in the pissing rain to do the same thing about 15 years ago. So I don't know who Bob Pook is myself, but he's obviously
that's going back a bit.
an inspiration to Robbie, or vice versa.
Well, 15 years we'll have the young Robbie Clifford doing that.
Exactly. Loads of young uns in Saturday, wasn't it? Was it just myself that noticed it? But did you not notice there's a lot of young supporters there?
The demographic is getting. It's good to see a lot of young more support actually, and they're migrating towards the back of the goal and rear of the goal, which is always good to see. So it's like the back of the goal support is growing, which is fantastic because that's what we want. Because once we all get going, it is a force to hear and a force to be part of. Mm. And I think when you look at the highlights, the noise that's getting created these days is fantastic.
No, that's true. And it was only a trophy game. You know, normally we don't usually get many for those, and bloody get over 1,000, which is
eyes the country.
Absolutely excellent.
It's
George,
massive for the club. And when people like later in the season are talking about our playing budget and things like that, we'll just think FA Trophy game, everyone's paying, no season tickets, and we're getting over 1,000 at £12 a ticket. So
that's 10 grand there. Everyone buying at least one drink. It's another at least £5 grand added on there, £8 grand added on there.
It just that's why we can hopefully fills with confidence that we'll be able to get the people in we need if and when we do.
We can recover for when Billy and Darryl Burnley got that 7.5 million away from us.
Saying that, Tony grabbed me again yesterday on Saturday, and I was thinking, oh no, what is it now? What could this be? But it was only to show me an old QPR program he had from 1968, some game he went to. So I don't think the takeover is. Was it Mr. Burney's 7 million anyway. Well, let's not reopen these old wounds.
I don't know. It was a classic episode. Seeing Billy come back at him was a classic episode.
Yeah, it wasn't. I didn't think it was. It was reasonable. It was a reasonable exchange. It was done in a reasonable fashion, but I think we kind of put that one to bed. I think. Any more thoughts on Ashford, guys?
Really good to see Kenny get a goal in front of his dad. Dad was at the ground after obviously all things going on. It's great to see Kenny grab a goal and have a great performance from Kenny. He's in good form again. He looks like he's loving his football, and he's really part of the Hastings family. His whole family is part of the Hastings family. Makes it so great, and it was fantastic to see him get another goal.
Oh, it was good, wasn't it? It was good. I mean, obviously, nice to see his dad down there. Kev, any thoughts? Otherwise, we might move on to the women's game.
Well, like I say, great game, really.
Oh, he's muted himself. There's always sight with a Towner. Right, you've muted yourself.
Nothing else. Sorry about that. I had to reject it. Carry on. Just edit that bit out.
No, he's staying in, mate. That's staying in, man.
Making Dicko's tackle.
Just want to say as well, before we move on to the women's football, that I don't know, I want people to think back to how they felt after we lost 3-2 away at Ramsgate and what wasn't our best performance, and what people were saying about how the season might pan out and where we're going to recover from this. We've won 8 games in a row since then.
Can I point out, Chris, did you bet against us to win the league? No, you did.
I bet us to win the league.
I think, George, did you bet against us to win the league?
Oh, I say negative stuff all the time. Look, at least I'm going to most of the games, Chris? That's all I'm going to say.
I don't know. The only enduring memory I have of Ramsgate is being at that one to piss down with rain, and they called it off half an hour before kickoff.
To be honest, that second half, it did turn. I mean, it's obviously a comment that you've made, Robbie, that has made the paper, has been in the, that comment you made was really good.
The second half
it really did, and a lot of that was down to, say, Lloyd Dawes, who unfortunately doesn't look like he's shifting these injury problems he's got. But everyone's, it's just the attitude, isn't it? I mean, you just see it on the pitch. You can see that belief's coming now. They ain't going to get beat. They just have that mentality now, don't they?
I agree. Yeah, winning's a habit. And they've got the habit. And I say we're starting to see more players come through, play with it. It's not the same 11 every game. We're having more and more players come in. So it's good to see. Worrell got another sub performance. Good to see him another performance on the bench.
Yeah, a bit of Lanray as well.
Yeah, Lanray, exactly. It's excellent. Obviously, Goldsmith, after he had a couple of injuries, problems, he had a good run the side. Elphick and Stone, both in their 30s, both playing week in, week out, no issues. It's great to see.
It's nice, good stuff. It's just happy days. Well, guys, we're moving on to the women's game, an absolute 5-0. Unfortunately, I don't think any of us were there other than Robbie. So we now bow to Robbie, who's going to inform us of all of the great action.
Well, it was quite a good performance. Obviously, Maidstone are a team who, before this game, we've been informed, did not have knock in the first half, but do concede a lot in the second half. So that's sort of giving an indication of how they play. Again, I thought a really dominant, comfortable performance. I mean, we didn't like trouble. We controlled the ball. We passed around beautifully. It's lovely goals. Obviously, I'll try to think of the order. I can't remember the order they got them in, but obviously, I do remember Ralph's a lovely goal from outside the box. That was a lovely hit and finish. And I say, we did not look in trouble at all. I think I made maybe a couple of good saves from Blair, to be fair. But again, that was more just over the top. Route 1 stuff got us a little bit, but overall, really good, solid performance. And that team is really gelling. I think Billy's a man of his word. When he brought the women's team in, it's not just there to have a women's team. He wants to perform, and they are performing. They're looking great. And I can generally see in a couple of years that women's team definitely be on par with someone like Lewis. And I think it's all good. Nothing but great words. But have a good performance. I hope to see more. I'm looking forward to hopefully go to the FA Cup if my plans work out right next couple of weeks away to Bromley.
FA Cup. There's so many fixtures coming up now. We've got
Yeah, and they're all away.
Yeah, and I might make some of them, Kev, before the other two chip in.
Will you? Oh, well, that'd be nice to see, wouldn't it?
No, yeah. No, I'm making next game.
Mate, to be honest, you might need to reintroduce yourself.
Pardon? What did you say?
You're there, yeah. So you're hardly ever there. You might need to reintroduce yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, don't you start me, Robbie. So we've got Maidenhead coming up this Saturday.
Are you going, Chris?
Yes, I am going.
That's exclusive. Podcast exclusive. Chris Laverick is going to an away game. That's an exclusive for you people.
Oh, but how many? I haven't missed that many. Bloody hell. That's, anyway, I can't. I haven't got no foot to stand on here. Right. So it's a big, massive game. And, as we've kind of heard, they're a bit of a direct side. So that I think our defence could probably cope with that, I reckon. But, it's just, have we got enough to beat them? What do we think, guys?
They haven't won since August, have they?
Go on, George.
Is that right? They've not won since August? Not been on a good run, have they, at all?
Have they been on a crap run? Oh,
they're 18th in the league, so the run can't be that good.
Oh.
Yeah, right, George. Yeah.
Honestly, I know, obviously, we could lose Saturday, whatever, but I'd rather play a team at the bottom of a high division than at the top of a similar one. You want to play teams that are in bad form. Why not fancy it? It's a massive opportunity. Again, they'll expect to win because we're three levels below.
Yeah.
But we're pretty good. So we'll go there Saturday, have a really good time, have a party, just like we wanted to do. We go Saturday at Chippenham. And let's go and cause an upset. We should be really positive going into that game.
I agree. And just to further George's point, the last game they actually won, 28th of August, against Dover Athletic.
Oh.
A team I forget that team right now. So that's...
Yeah. So we've won eight. We've won 8 since then. So...
Yeah.
If we play at our best, we'll at least give them a good game. At the very least, give them a good game if we play at our best. But I reckon if we play at our best, we'll beat them.
Do you reckon he's going to risk playing the young lad as the main centre forward, or do you reckon he'll sort of
I don't think it's a risk.
Based on how he performed against Ashford, I don't either. There's a reason we say in Aggie we trust. Aggie would not put him out there if he wasn't ready. If Aggie said he's ready, he's ready. He proved it at Ashford, and I have no doubt if he plays against Maidenhead, he'll prove it again. And what I want is him to keep going with good form, so when Popey comes back, he might not get back on the side. It happened a couple of seasons ago when we had Rodari. I believe, obviously, Rodari came in, he kept Pope out, he kept Pogue out as well. We want that with Hull. We want him keeping out these top players. And so we got competition. It's great when we have competition.
Yeah. Well, if we're gonna win things this season, that needs to happen, doesn't it? So, and it's looking that way.
The quadruple is on.
Quadruple now. What's the fourth one?
Sussex Cup is happening apparently.
Oh, it is happening, is it?
Yeah. So the quadruple is still on.
When's the Sussex Cup starting?
I don't know when we join it. We join it a bit later. There's some earlier rounds and we join it. That's what I was hearing on Saturday. So, but no, we are entering apparently. So that's great because I love that competition.
The Challenge Cup. Let's have a gambers.
We could actually end up playing more cup games this season than we do league games, though, the way things go.
That was last season. Or last season was 6.
They can't make more excuses for cancelling games. I mean, the petrol one was completely ridiculous. So,
I said to some of the directors, I was like, I'm glad you made it all right then. And like, no sense of humour at all. And I saw like,
you're not one to stoke it, are you, George?
On one of the forums, someone said that an Ashford fan said their players, I don't think they really fancied it after all the abuse we'd given them about petrol.
Oh,
maybe it was but then maybe they were saying perhaps it was right. Perhaps they didn't fancy it in the first place. So, and it's and we look at the players we had out for that game, and so no wonder they didn't fancy it. Now we know why.
It's a weird one though, isn't it? Because I was having I was having nightmares about playing Ashford because remember the last times we played them, and obviously that a lot of that was to do with, say, Sam Hasler being with
Pretty
them
much.
and that.
So I was like, Ashford didn't beat us. Sam Hasler beat us.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a foot on him. You just think like it's amazing. You just take one or two players out of some of these teams, and well, to me, they look very bang average to me. But what do I know? I'm biased.
I reckon if they play like that against like a mid-table team from our side, I don't know, Faversham top of my head, they would give them a good game. But we made them look bang average because we're playing below our level. Simple as we're too big for this league. We're playing below our level, so we make these teams look bang average.
No, it's true. It's true.
We'll see what the table looks like at Christmas. Let's have a look. See who's around. But you don't know yet. You don't know.
He's getting nervous again, isn't he? Robbie, he's getting nervous again.
I'm asking who's going to be up there with us. You don't know yet. You don't know how these other teams are going to shape up. We know how we're going to shape up very well, but you don't know how these squads are. Some teams are still piecing their squads together, aren't they? So we'll see. We will see. Haywards Heath looked good. Good start, apparently. So
Wills is here.
Hey, John Wills.
Hang on, we got Mr. Will. Wills.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm fine. Wait, John, are you all right though?
I'm okay. Luckily, Lil got the medication together quite quickly because I did a driving awareness course with her.
Hang on, Lil, was that Lil?
It is to you.
Oh, hello. You've literally missed everything, John. So
that's the story of my life.
John, you obviously know old young Hull's mother. Tell us all about that.
Hang on.
What?
I'll cut out the way I've said that.
A new narration.
Yeah,
we now have James Cole, actual father, on the podcast. John Wills.
No, that's bad. So please explain who your next door neighbour is.
Yes, it's the lads. Yes, and also what you might not know, but you do know because you're very knowledgeable, is that there's a third brother, Ollie, and I think it was for the under 18s or something. He scored the winning penalty in a penalty shootout a few months ago. So that's the threesome. It was a bit like it might be a bit like when the Charlton brothers played for England, wouldn't it?
Well, the Hulls run it for Hastings.
What was the general chat then on?
On Ashford? Well, Kev thought we were lucky, and I thought we walked it.
I didn't really feel there was any point there. We were under great threat of them. Mind you, I missed the first sort of 10 minutes, so I understand they had a good spell to start with in the first half.
Yeah.
I just think it took us a while to get over the finishing line, as it were, John. Really, it always worries me. I never like going in 1-0 up. I always think, then the awful thing will go wrong. And I just thought we took a while to get over the finishing line. That's all, really.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say we ever looked like we were going to lose, but there's always the worry of that late equaliser.
That's right. Even at 2-0 these days, isn't it? If you've got 20 minutes left, it's not an easy lead. But
who's for Hastings?
What's the thoughts on the next opposition? Are they? I haven't found out what tier they're in or what. But we've got a home tie.
Oh, the FA Trophy. Felix and something, I don't know.
Walton, but yes,
sounds like a chocolate, a brand of chocolate or something.
Cat
fancy
biscuit.
brand.
We're playing some cat biscuits.
Yeah.
And that be a good evening. Is it Tuesday evening, isn't it?
No, it's Saturday.
Oh, it's a Saturday. All right.
Saturday the 1st of October at the Pilot Field. Tickets are available on Skiddle.
And what you should do really is, if make it a whole weekend, is that you come to the Supporters Club quiz, which is the night before, in the Pilot Bar. And that's what you want to be doing. You want to be doing that on the Friday and then the game on the Saturday.
What time's that start then, George?
After I get there, I'm hosting it. I'm going to go half. Is a guess. 7:30.
Yeah, it's getting there.
Is that right? Have I got that right?
I think it's as near as damn it, isn't it?
Put it this way, I'm hosting it and writing the question, so it starts when I read out the first question, doesn't it? So it's not something I need to worry about. But yeah, I think around 7:30.
Doors open 6:30, and it's £3 per person, max 6 per team. Come along, it'll be good fun. Have some drinks, enjoy the Hastings family on Friday night, and then we'll come back. It's the same again on Saturday for football.
Very good. Well, we'll have to keep advertising that until it comes along.
Any other players' business to advertise this week, Chris?
What did you think of the advert?
I liked it. I thought it was good. Yeah,
it was brilliant. It was one of the best things I've ever heard in my life. It was that good. I loved it.
You loved the little White Hawk dig, didn't you? I mean,
I did, yeah, because they're annoying. And
every podcast listener knows where to come for their plumbing needs now. I think it was beautiful.
Yeah. If Gary hasn't given me any feedback yet, I have said I've done it, but it just chinned me probably. I
think it's brilliant. You should advertise like the NHS or some other business next time.
What? NHS?
Yes, I don't know. I'm just trying to think about where people work, and you always keep banging on about how great the NHS is. So maybe you should do a little advert on the podcast.
Hey, right.
We need it as a shirt sponsor.
Oh, the NHS.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh God, imagine that in the papers. Wasting money on Hastings United.
Yeah. Anything else?
George, George won't be moaning when we do his hemorrhoids up there.
Yes.
John Wills is just going for he's just going for outtakes now. He's going for outtakes.
Yeah. What do you say to that so-called Gasson?
Well, yeah, I've always respected John Wills.
Oh, turns the other cheek.
Literally.
Shocking.
He's probably going to talk for the Hive game. So obviously Hive away next Tuesday. Obviously barring Cup replay, of course. Should be good fun. I think.
God, not Hive. I hope it's not raining.
Wills, you going to Hive?
We haven't turned yours down, Wills.
What day is the Hive? The Tuesday?
Yeah.
Yes.
Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. It's not coming Tuesday, is it?
Yeah. Do you know the outtakes? Yeah, they could kick it. It's not coming Tuesday. Is that a special day for you? Right.
Not coming Tuesday.
Oh dear.
Out of your mind, Sean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How you get anyone else to come on this podcast? I don't know.
Why comment on weekly basis? I don't know.
I don't. I have to beg. Yeah.
Yes, I hate it. It's one of my most hated grounds. For those listening to the podcast who don't know me, I am a wheelchair user, and their clubhouse is up a huge flight of steps. And the last time I went to Hyde, it was piddling down with rain. And it took about 3 people to get me up to the clubhouse.
Did you consume too many beers, Kev?
Not my favourite ground, mate.
At least they haven't got a lift that they can't use because they don't have a certificate.
Oh, that's so annoying.
It's a bit like having a coach you can't drive because there's no petrol in it, really.
Very good.
You couldn't resist it, could you, George?
One more. Like, we've beaten them now, so we can give them one more. So.
George, was it Hive where you carried the FA trophy down the stairs?
Yeah. Last time was at Hive. We were the FA, the actual real FA trophy was there. I mean, you could have pictures with it. And then me and Rob were there after full time. And we had to pack it away and was like, do you want a hand? So me and Rob were just bubble wrapping the FA trophy and put it in this box. And then some guy comes to courier it back to Wembley. And he doesn't know what he's collecting because he's just couriering. And I was like, it's a big thing, mate. It's a bit heavy. Like, do you want a hand with it? So I'm just carrying the FA trophy down those big steps to his van. It's really cool.
Yeah. Is it decent?
It's really a monstrosity. It's too big for a trophy. It's like one of those American ones.
Oh, one of the hockey ones where you got 10 people to lift it.
Yeah. So if you if that would cost Ashford another 10-15 litres to ship that if they were moving that around in their coach. It's a large trophy.
Yeah, it's not. They're out, so they don't need to.
But if we win it, then it'd be the greatest trophy of all time. Beautiful design.
Wembley.
Yeah. It's just watch out for if any because some people love to have pictures taken with trophies. Have a look at where the FA trophy is, because you can get up close for it and actually pick it up, unlike the FA Cup, which they're a bit protective about.
Well, I have my picture taken with the FA Cup, or it might have been a replica because they never told us. That was 2012, just before the Harrogate game.
Well, the real one's come back to Hastings this year, so you can have a picture taken with it then.
Yeah.
So I love it.
I got a trophy for go-karts. If any of you want to have your photo taken with it, it was about 30 years ago now.
Can someone else make the tinfoil FA Cup this year? Because me and Rob made one like last year, or the year before, and it survived about 20 minutes of the game.
In our defence, we did go to the pub beforehand, and
no, but I'm going to make a little mini one, stick it on my Hastings United rosette. Very kind of 1970s style.
Very good, Kev.
Chris's ears.
What?
Chris's ears could be used, I'm sure.
Yeah,
it's true. Never there, so.
Right, chaps. I think we've exhausted this.
Well, we can abuse you for 10 more minutes. Fine.
Yeah, that's it. George, anything? Otherwise, we're going to bugger off.
No, that's it. See you at the game.
I'll be there.
He sounds a bit sarky, doesn't he? That.
No, that's
you will see me at the game.
Have you not noticed that ever since you started using that hashtag "see you at the game," you've made less games?
Yeah,
but you realise people wouldn't come if he was turning up.
I've said that.
See you at the game.
Nearly 40. It'll be 40 podcasts. This will be my 40th.
Yay!
So what's that? 20,
your second time you've had a 40th, isn't it, Chris? Second time you've had a 40th. Yeah, see you at the game on Joe Knight's highlights, because it is for you, isn't it? But yeah.
See you. That was a worthwhile contribution there, George. I enjoyed that.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, I did too.
No, definitely. You will see me at the game this Saturday. Fellas, thank you, Robbie. Thank you, John. Thank you, Kev. Take care, and I'll see you Saturday.
Thank you, Chris.
Good to see you guys. Take care.
See you guys.
That's it for another week, Hughes fans, and it's a massive one in the cup. Just one win, and we're in that first round proper. As for the podcast, remember to get on the fan round table, or if you have any questions, queries, or criticisms, you can reach us on the email, which is hufcpod@gmail.com, or you can reach us on the Twitter, which is @hufcpodcast. You find this podcast on all good platforms, and I'm always asking, get yourself subscribed to the YouTube if you can. There's tons of content on there, and I try to get all the individual interviews I do on there, the latest by the Friday. Please go on, have a look. All that's left for me to say is, I've been your host, Chris Laverick. Hope you have a good week, and see you at the game. Come on, you Hughes.